meme with shadda, right? And so this happens in meme sakin rules and in noon sakin rules, right? We blend the noon sakin into the wow by way of shadda when we give idgham with the wow. And we say, ma'wa. We don't go anywhere near the noon. We go straight to the wow, right? We go straight to the wow. Same thing when we have lam or ra, right? Same thing when we have lam or ra. We blend it straight into the lam or the ra. We don't hear any more noon sakin. So remember, idgham literally means to blend, right? Idgham, it literally means to blend, right? And it occurs with our noon and meme sakin rules for the letters of lam, ra, meme, noon, wow, ya, our yarmalun letters. And it also, right, it also occurs in our meme sakin rules when we have meme with sukun followed by another meme. Right. So here just are some examples of idgham for noon sakin rules with gunna, right? With gunna. So at the very bottom, right, left. Right? So the ra has tanween. And normally we would read that amrin. Amrin. But instead of saying amrin, we're going to blend the noon sakin sound into the meme, and we are no longer going to hear it. We're going to say amrim. Amrim. No more rin. No noon.
Double zero.
All right. Same thing goes for this wow, even though we don't write the shadda, the printers didn't write the shadda because they were trying to give you a hint about how you articulate it, which is slightly different than the meme and the noon. But here it's still shadda, right? In reality, on how you articulate it, you're still going to come from the ta marbuta, saying ta, and go straight to the wow. Pow. Pow. Right? And once you get to the wow, you're going to let the air flow through the nasal cavity for the gunna hold, and then you're going to say the wow. Pow. Wow. But it's still shadda. Pow. Wow. Pow. Wow. Straight to the wow. All right, so this is what we mean by idgham is recognized as blending, and it's you're placing a shadda on the idgham letter, right? You're placing a shadda on the idgham letter. So I'm emphasizing that is because as we start talking about the sifat here in just a second, then you're going to see a common pattern for idgham. You're still going to be doing the same thing, except what we're going to find with the rules for sifat, idgham for sifat, is that you're not going to have any gunna holes, similar to the lam and ra here. So when we have tanween followed by tanween or noon sakin, followed by lam or ra. Let's do this one in the middle because I'm here. All right. So here, this is rizqan. Rizqan. But instead of saying rizqan, because the lam is an idgham letter, I'm going to say rizqan. Qalil. The noon sakin is no longer there. I'm going qaf straight to lam for shadda. Qalil. Well, this is idgham, right? This is blending. We've lost whatever sound it was before completely, and we're going straight to the shadda. No noon sakin whatsoever. Okay? All right. So we've gone over these rules, right? This isn't anything new. But we're going to relate our understanding of idgham for noon and meme sakin to our rules for idgham for sifat, right? Now, what are sifats? Who remembers what are the sifats again? What does that mean, sifats? Sifat.
It's the characteristic of the letter.
It's the characteristic of the letter. So the exit point and the characteristic of the letters are two different things. Someone give me some exit point, but their characteristics are different.
Ta and ta.
Sa and salt.
Ta and ta. Ta.
Like pita.
Like ta and fa.
Oh, ta and fa.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so when you say ta, what do you use?
The tip of the tongue.
And where does it touch?
Seen.
The teeth. Ta. The upper palate.
The upper palate. And when you say fat, what do you use?
The tip of the tongue.
To where?
Qarib.
The front. The teeth.
The two front teeth, right? So although they both use the tip of the tongue, they actually use a different exit of the tip of the tongue. Right?
Yeah, okay.
So remember, the tip of the tongue breaks up into 4 categories, right? One of the categories is the tip of the tongue to the upper palate. Another category is the tip of the tongue to the bottom of the 2 front teeth. So although they both use the tip of the tongue, they're not in the same category, right? They're not in the same category.
Okay.
But that was good, right? Keep thinking, you guys. Tell me. There are some letters that you know if you say them, you're literally going to use the same spot in exit. You're just going to, their characteristics are different. And remember the characteristics. Think about the sifat for pairs, right? You had letters that were heavy and letters that were light. Tafkhim and tarkib, right? You had letters that were shiddah, strong letters, and you had letters that were khawa, meaning that they had a hindrance to them. It took them a while to say them. And then you had those that were in the middle, right? You have those letters that were heavy all the time, right? It's mouth and their connections. And then you had other letters that were not, right?
So I would say seen and salt. Salt.
Say it again. I'm sorry, it's kind of muffled. Say it again.
I would have said seen and then salt.
Perfect. Right? So seen and saw, they both exit from the same exit point. They even feel the same off of the tongue, except for the one characteristic. And what characteristic is that?
You raise the back of your tongue a foot of salt.
Exactly. The heaviness and the lightness of the letter, right? The characteristic of heavy versus light, right? Or light versus heavy is the thing that changes, but not the exit point. Okay? So when we start talking about the idgham in relation to that idea, meaning that you're going to have some letters that they are exiting from the same exit point. And their characteristics are the same. Then you're going to have other letters that are exiting from the same exit point, but their characteristics are different, like seen and saw. And then other letters, they're going to not exit from the same exit point, but their exit points are close to each other.
Down and
Okay.
down. Okay.
So, and their characteristics are similar, right? So here, the very first idgham rule or sifat that we're going to do, mutamathil, means that you have letters that are of like nature, right? Idgham mutamathil says we have letters of like nature. When we say letters have like nature, it literally is saying that the letters exit point is the same and the characteristics are the same. If you have a letter that their exit point is the same and the characteristics are the same, then you have the same letter. No two letters have the same exit point and the same characteristics, and they not be the same letter, right? So think about it. We say tha, thal, and wal.
Fa,
Thal,
thou,
and wal. All of these exit from where?
fa, and ball. Um, is the tip of your tongue going to the bottom teeth? I'm not
Now, the
bottom
bottom
teeth.
of the two front incisors,
Yes,
right?
bottom. Yes.
Tip of the tongue to the bottom of the two front incisors. Fat, thou, and law. They all exit from that same spot. Fat, that, law. But their characteristics are all different, right? Characteristics are all different. Two of them might be light, one of them might be heavy, but the one that's light has might have hemps, where the other one that's light doesn't have hemps, right? So that means that the characteristics help you to differentiate between the letters, right? The characteristics help to differentiate between the letters. So if I have two letters that the characteristics are exactly the same and the exit is exactly the same, then we're dealing with the same letter. So for idgham mutamathil, this occurs when you have two letters that are exactly the same. The first letter has a sukoon and the second letter has a vowel mark. When this occurs, we are going to skip the first letter and place a shadda on the second letter, blending it, right? By way of the shadda, right? That. So the same thing we would do when we had meen with sukoon followed by meen. When we had a meen with sukoon followed by meen, we skipped the first meen, we put a shadda on the second meen, and we concentrated and we read as if the shadda meen was the only meen, right? So this is actually going to happen with any letter. If I have a kaf with sukoon followed by a kaf with a vowel mark, I'm going to put a shadda on the kaf with the vowel mark, and I'm going to skip the kaf with the sukoon completely. Okay. Now, realistically, this is actually already done for you, right? So in your mushaf, you're going to find that they have already placed the shadda on the letter. Sometimes you've already seen this in your reading,
I've seen it.
and you just automatically skipped the letter and went on to the one with the shadda.
But it wasn't this one.
Sometimes you try to articulate both of them, and that's when you get yourself in trouble, right? You try to give the sukoon, and then you're going to go to the one with the shadda, and you're going to say it with the vowel, without a shadda, and then you're going to try to say it again, right? These are the things that we do. Let me use my phone.
Let me get my phone.
It's been a while since I used these notes. Oh, there we go. I was about to say, where are the examples? All right. So our first example here, highlighted in red, we have a lam with sukoon followed by another lam, right? A lam with sukoon followed by another lam. And you notice the lam, the second lam that has the vowel mark, it already has the shadda marked, right? Now, that's not a part of the word. That's just the printers helping you out with the rule. And you notice the first lam has nothing on it, trying to give you another hint to let you know that you should. Anytime you see in the Uthmani scripts Qur'ans, when you find a letter that does not have a vowel mark, it is understood to have sukoon on it. We understand it to have sukoon. But the reason that it doesn't actually get the sukoon is because the printer is trying to let you know you're going to skip this letter because of a rule. You're going to skip it. You're not going to read this letter because of a rule. If it's a letter with sukoon that you should read, you're actually going to see a sukoon on it. So you notice this lam right before, right? So here, right before we get to our letter combination there for our idgham mutamathil, is that we have walam. Because I'm going to say this mean, you notice that the actual sukoon is marked.
Right.
It actually has a sukoon on it. Because trying to give you a hint, you're going to say the mean. Walam. But this lam here, this lam here has nothing on it because we want to skip it and go straight to the lam with shadda. So when I read this, I'm going to say yaj'allahu.
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 Right. name of this one.
Right? وَلَمْ يَجْعَلْ لَهُ. Right, same thing here. Just the letters are different. We have a dal with sukoon followed by a dal with a vowel mark. Because of that, it's as if the first dal doesn't exist. We're putting a shadda on the second dal, and we're going straight to that dal. Who wants to read that example for me?
Let me read.
I want everybody to try it once.
I'll read it.
All right.
Halu.
There you go. Just think shadda, waqadda, halu.
Halu.
There you go. Halu.
Halu.
Very good. All right. I utilize these because these are still examples of idgham mutamathil, as well as idgham ash-shafawi, right? So this particular combination, it delivers out two rules. It's obeying two different rules. It's obeying idgham mutamathil, and it's also obeying idgham ash-shafawi. The reason it gets its own special rule is because of the gunna, right? So this is what distinguishes it from the rest of idgham mutamathil. And without that understanding, we wouldn't deliver that properly, right? So we have to know that it actually has that quality of the meme that has the gunna hold, which is what distinguishes it from all of the other idgham mutamathils. All right? Who would like to read the first one highlighted in red there for me? Yeah, I just taller, you guys. Sister Lanise?
Yes, ma'am, I'll try. Okay. Atomahum.
Take your time. It's alpha. All right. That's an first. Say alpha. Keep your tongue up in the back.
Apple.
Not cough. It's a taw. Are you using the back of your tongue up to the upper palate, or are you using the tip of your tongue?
I get confused.
The upper.
You using the back of your tongue to the upper palate?
Yes.
That's cough. We don't want cough. We want taw.
So that's tall. Okay.
Yes.
And
yeah, but you still have to get the tongue up in the back like you were for cough. When you raise the back of the tongue, that's what delivers heavy. So you have to get your tongue up there. It's not touching cough. It's just elevated for the heavy sound. Alpha.
Apple.
The tip of the tongue. T-ta, ta, ta, ta. Say ta.
Ta.
Ta with a T, ta.
Ta.
Ta, ta, ta. That's what you want. You want apple.
Apple.
Yes, apple.
Apple.
Yes.
And
Don't say etta. That means your tongue is down. We need apple.
Apple.
It's not a cola.
No, now you went to cough.
I need to know my letters.
So what am I saying? Apple.
No, you don't want cough. That's the wrong letter.
Apple.
But you can't go etta. Ta isn't heavy.
Apple.
There you go.
Yes, it's a cola.
Home.
So it should be
That's it. You just stopping there.
Right.
Just mean. Do it again. You should hear who mean.
So it is a
Remember, that's the standard
question.
Who, you're on mean for 2 and 3, and then you're saying the mean on count 4. Who mean. Read it again.
Okay.
Mean.
Okay.
Me.
Mean.
You have to hold it. Who mean. You can't just say whom.
Mean.
Mean.
Yeah. So look, this first mean is no longer there.
Right.
It's as if it doesn't exist. It has been blended into the second mean because of the shadda. So that's what I mean. You can't say whom. It is mean. Very good. All right. So I always like to make a point of pointing out because many of us will make this mistake, right?
Mean.
This is ayin.
Ayin.
Yes.
And this is mean.
Mean. Okay. Ame. I thought ame.
If you notice, the lines go on top of mean. See? The lines go on top of mean. And the lines go underneath the ayin.
Okay.
Right? So if you keep that in mind, right, every single time you see these, because, you know, to the quick eye, they look the same almost, right? They're just little humps. That's all they seem like they are. But you notice the lines are underneath the ayin, right? The lines connect underneath the ayin. And on the mean, the lines connect on top. Right? The lines connect on top. So keep that in mind, and then it will help you when you see your ayin or your mean in other places. If the lines are connecting on top, right? If the point is on top, then that means it is mean. If the lines are connecting underneath the little circle, then that means you have ayin. All right, very good. All right, Nicole or Sister Zakia Hassan, you guys one of you want to do that last one there?
I don't think Zakia Hassan is here.
Oh, she came in.
Oh, she did.
I can't come on. I have I was still in here.
She's okay. Well, Nicole's working, so that just leaves you, Sister Zakia.
Well, I can only try because I only got a few minutes of that.
There you go, right? So once again, you're skipping the first mean because this is idgham, right? This is idgham, meaning that you have a mean with sukoon followed by another mean. This particular idgham we're doing now, Sister Zakia, is idgham for sifat. So it doesn't matter what the letter is. It could be kaf, it could be lam, it could be jeen. If you have a jeen with sukoon followed by another jeen, it is going to be an instance of idgham. You're going to skip the first gene and you're going to have a shadda on the second gene. So you're going to go straight to the second gene, right? Here, this one at the bottom is just mean, which is a rule that we've done before, right? But it's the same thing. All right. Is that clear for everyone?
Yeah, you sound funny now.
Yes.
Because I leaned over a bit.
Yes.
All right. The next idgham rule is idgham mutajanis, right? So in Arabic, if somebody told you something is bijanib, right? Like if I were giving you directions and I was saying the bookstore is bijanib, right? The grocery store. I'm saying the bookstore is right next to the grocery store, right? It's like right next to it, right? Well, this is what mutajanis is. Idgham mutajanis is saying that you have two letters that have the same exit point but different characteristics. So remember, the first one, mutamathil. So if something is mithlu something else, right? A mithlu means it's just like it. Like it's just like it. It's like, oh, it's mithlu hayyani. They'll say, this is, oh, it's like that. You know, this tastes like this. So when something is mithl, mutamathil, it's like it's just like it. That's when you have the two letters that are exactly the same. They're just alike. The first one has a sukoon, the second one has a vowel. Mutajanis, this is letters that are at the same exit point. They're similar. However, they're next to each other in their characteristic, right? It's not exactly the same. Not exactly the same. So these letters are going to come in categories, right? You're going to have your ba into the meme. You're going to have your ta into dal, your dal into ta, your ta into tha, and your tha into ta. And then the last section, you're going to have your tha into thal and your thal into tha. So here's the thing. You actually don't have to memorize these. You just have to remember the rule. If you can remember that when you have letters that are similar or letters that are exactly the same in their exit points, you're going to skip the first one and put a shadda on the second. It's already marked for you. If you keep the rule in your thought and your thinking, then when you see it, it's going to click. Even if you can't say, oh, this is which idgham it is, you're going to remember, oh, this is because of the idgham for sifat, right? You're going to remember that. So this one, so don't feel like you have to memorize these combinations, right? No, don't do that to yourself. I don't have these ones memorized like this. I just know, I know them, right? When I see them and I remember, oh yeah, this one's tat into that, right? Tat into that, right? Or dal into tat, right? I can remember that once I see it, but I don't have it memorized where I just have to, I can recall it, right? And so you don't either. Just remember the rule itself. So our first example down here, remember, we already have a rule for meme with sukoon followed by ba. Right? That's why this one, that's not on here, right? Because we actually do something different. We don't do idgham for meme with sukoon followed by ba. But if we have a ba with sukoon followed by meme, because once again, the meme and the ba exit from the same exit point. Bad meme, they're both off of the lips and they almost look exactly the same, right? The thing that changes for the meme and ba is the characteristic. One of them having the explosive sound off of it, ba. The other, they have a gentler sound off of it, meme, right? Both of them are light though, right? The meme having that sound of wunna, which is why we do what we do when we have meme back second followed by ba. But the ba, it doesn't. It's quick. It's a quicker sound. All right. So when we have a meme or ba with sukoon followed by the meme, we're actually going to deliver out our idgham mutajannis. So you are not going to hear the ba. No more ba. You're going to go straight to the meme. You're going to go straight to the meme. So look at our example here. One portion is down on the other line, so for make it that big.
I can't get it now.
All right. So the first word is irkab. Irkab, right? Irkab. That's second. After that, we have ma'ana. Ma'ana. Irkab, ma'ana. But when we read this, we're not going to say irkab. We're going to get rid of the ba altogether because it has been blended into the meme. Irkab, ma'ana. Irkab, ma'ana. Y'all see that? No bad. It's been blended into the meme by way of shadda.
So how do we know to do that?
So once again, you learning the rule now. When you see this ba and it has no sukoon on it, that's why I made mention of it before.
Okay.
When you see letters and they don't have any mark on them, that means you know it has sukoon. But it also means that that letter is not going to be articulated.
Okay.
And once again, this is why I like using Uthmani script, because it helps you out. It's helping you with the rules. Even when it's not a Tajweed Quran.
Yeah.
So that's giving you a hint that you're going to skip it. The second hint is that the shadda is on the meme. Right? That means you have to connect that meme to the letter that came before that has a vowel mark, which is the kaf. All right, let's look at another example.
So she changed it.
I'm going to save that example. Let's do this one.
Which one? Okay.
All right, so in this example, we have a zal into va. Zal into va. Same exit, same characteristic, even for its rahawa. Having that vibration there, that continued sound. Same characteristic. But one is heavy and the other is light, right? One is heavy and the other is light. So here, the thou has nothing on it. Once again, you see nothing on it. That means it has sukoon. That means it has sukoon. But because it's not, the sukoon isn't marked on there, that's the printer giving you a hint that you're going to skip this down completely. It has been completely blended into the tha. So when I read this, I am going to read a tha with shadda. All right, who wants to read that one for me?
Okay.
I'll read it. I'll try it. It's Tolemu.
Why did you give your tha a long vowel?
Yeah, we always do that.
Because I'm trying to do the shadda first and doing the other one with the sukoon.
Shadda, it's going to sound the same. So say shadda.
Shadda.
All of your shadda are going to have that rhythm. The only shadda that does not get that rhythm are noon and meme, right? And that's because they get gunna. But this right here, this is shadda. That's what you want to hear.
It's Tolemu.
Just give me the kasra and the va with shadda. It's not ta, it's a tha. It's a va. It's not a tha. It's not ta. It's a tha.
No, it's tha. It's the one that, the one with the air coming out. With the it's tha. It's tha. I can't hear you.
Okay, hold on.
Okay.
All right, so remember, shaddas break down into two of them. The first one gets a sukoon, and the second one...
Yeah, second one gets the vowel mark. Right, gets the vowel mark.
So the first thing that you should be hearing is this. Let me hear you say it. There you go. But the letter is a law, so your tongue has to be up in the back. It's heavy.
It's...
Ill. Don't let your tongue, you can't take your tongue off of a ball. Leave it there. There you go. All right. Now that you have the understanding of what it feels like to give it with sukoon, you have to give that. You can't take your tongue off, and then you give the second va with the fatah. So let me hear you give this shadda.
Izalemu.
But it is not
It's Izalemu.
Just don't worry about the valemu right now. We just want the hamza and the va shadda. Do it again.
Izor.
There you go. This says say shadda. Ilva. There you go. That's the rhythm of shadda. So say shadda.
Shadda.
Ilva.
Shadda. Ilva.
Yes.
Shadda.
All right. So now read this again and go ahead and read to the lamu.
Who is alive?
Izalemu.
You still gave me vala.
Izalemu. Izalemu.
There you go. Right? So once again, we are no longer hearing that. It is all va. The zal has been skipped
Law.
completely. It has been completely blended into the law.
And that's muta.
Yolalamu.
Muta
Yolalamu.
Janice.
All right.
My hands are cold and I'm cold. Muta Janice.
All right. This is one that you all have actually read before. This is in Suratul Kafirun. You've done it numerous of times and you didn't even think about it.
Bidumna.
This is what I mean by you all have done this. You've seen this rule. You didn't even know. You didn't even know you were doing a rule. All right. Who wants to read that one for us? It's this dal into tat. You see the dal?
I have one. I'll try because I have one similar to that I had in my last reading.
Very good, right? So there's nothing on the dal letting us know it has a sukoon, but it's also letting us know, giving us a hint that it won't be articulated. It has been completely blended into the tat. So that's all we're going to hear is a tat shadda, and it is going to be connecting to the letter, the last letter that had a vowel mark before it, which is the ba, right? So let's hear you read that one for us, Sister Ladies. It's not ab. The ayn and the ba are separate. No ab. It is just
Abesum.
ta.
Abesum. Oh, that's ta.
Ta. That's 2 dots, not 3.
Okay. Abesum.
Good.
You're still giving me a sa. I need ta.
Huh?
Okay.
No ab. It is
Abesum.
bat. Tum.
Abesum.
Tum.
Abesum.
There you go. Say shadda.
Shadda.
Abesum.
Abesum.
There you go, right? So once again, I cannot say enough. The rhythm of the word shadda is letting you know how all shaddas should sound. Okay? So if you ever try to figure out a shadda, say it. Say shadda, and your job is to make the two connections, the two letters that are connecting by way of shadda, is to make the rhythm the same. Shadda, back to. Shadda, back to. All right, very good. All right, now I'm gonna, of course, throw a little monkey wrench in your plans.
Of course.
And
Of course.
so this one is paw into tab. Paw into tab. When you find the ones that are like this occurs for ta into tat in the Quran a few different times, right? So not just in this word. In other words, you're going to find the combination of a ta with sukoon followed by a ta with the vowel.
Right.
When that happens, look at this. What's the difference between how this one is written and how this one was written, right? So let me see if I can show them both at the same time here. What's the difference in how both of those two are written?
There's no shadda on the tat.
There you go. There's no shadda on the tab, right? There's no shadda on the tab.
So
Once again, the printer is giving you a hint, right? There's no vowel on the ta because it has sukoon, and there's not a literal sukoon on it, letting you know you're going to skip it. But the difference, the reason they did not place a shadda on this particular tab is because this one is read slightly different. You actually maintain the heavy ta with sukoon, and then you come out of the shadda with the light tat. So instead of the ta being completely assimilated by shadda, it only is partially assimilated. You're still going to do shadda, except the first sound is going to be the heavy ta. Bass out, and then when I come out of the shadda, it'll be ta. Bass out, ta. Bass out, ta. Versus basat, ta. That would be just ta shadda. Basat, ta. It's all light. Basat, ta. But because the ta is so heavy, the ta cannot completely blend with it, right? So when we read this one, we're going to hear that ta sakin being heavy. Bass out, bass out.
Bass out.
And then we're going to say our ta. Bass out, ta.
Bass out.
Bass out, ta.
Bass out.
All right, does that make sense? Kind of, sort of?
It makes sense. We just how to
Yes,
do
it does.
Yes.
Doing it, right? All right, Sister Zakia,
Oh, gosh.
why don't you read that one for us?
Okay. Bass out.
There you go. Good job. All right, let's hear you, Sister Zakia Hassan.
Besota.
There you go. Don't make the scene heavy, though. Make sure it stays like Basal.
Besota.
You can't let your tongue go from the thaw in the tab. The tongue has to stay planted.
Besota.
Basal.
Besota.
Basal. It has to stay like that. Basal.
Besota.
There you go. That was a good one. All right, okay. Sister Lanise, why don't you give it a whirl there?
Besota.
Don't go salt. Keep your scene light. Besota. You have to take your tongue and make it heavy. Once you hit the tar. Besota. Oh, that one was better. All right. All right. It just takes a little practice, right?
Yes.
But once again, you're gonna find this not just here, but you're gonna find it in a few different places. The hint is the first letter that is not gonna have a sukoon on it, which means you're gonna have to skip it. But the letter after it won't have a shadda. And your brain has to remember, oh, this is the ta and the tab both exit from the same spot. Tip of the tongue to that upper palate, tab, ta, dab. They all exit from that same spot. But the ta is heavy, so it can't be fully assimilated into that.
It's all that.
All right.
We did that.
Our next room is in the wam mutaqarib, right? So qarib, if something is qarib, right? That means it is near you, right? We say Allah huwa qarib. Allah is always near, right? Allah isn't right next to you. He's not bijanib, right? And Allah is definitely not mislukum, meaning he's like you, right? That's not Allah. But Allah is qareeb, meaning in the space, right? As a matter of fact, there's nowhere that Allah is not in the space of, which is why it says that Allah is near, right? It's impossible. It's Allah, right? So Allah can't help but to be near you, right? You can't help but to be near Allah, right? It's actually the other way, right? You can't help. Allah is near, right? Because He's everywhere in all the spaces. And so this is qareeb. This idgham mutaqarrib is saying that it's in the same proximity, right? So this is when we have a letter that you have two letters that are alike, either in their sifat or their exit. So they have a similarity either in the characteristic or the exit or both. The first one has a sukoon and the second one has a haraka, right? This occurs between qaf and kaf, qaf and kaf. And it also occurs between lam and ra. Lam and ras. Don't mind that one in the middle. It's in the wrong spot. It should have been on the last page. It was on the last page. That was the example we gave on the last page. So I wrote these out. I didn't take them from the Quran. So I was able to put the actual sukoon on it. So this it won't look like this in your mushaf. Meaning that this qaf here won't get an actual sukoon on it. I did that because I was writing them out. And your mushaf is not going to have anything. So here from qaf into kaf, qaf into kaf. The qaf and the kaf are from similar exits, but not exactly the same. They're both on the back of the tongue, but the qaf is further back than the kaf.
No.
Right? So this is why they wouldn't fall into that mutajanis category, because their exit is actually not exactly the same spot, right? Not exactly at all.
Right.
So here, the qaf is going to be assimilated into the kaf. The qaf is going to be assimilated into the kaf by way of the shadda. Nahlukum. Lukum. No qaf whatsoever. Nahlukum. Nahlukum.
So are you saying that the sukoon should not be on the qaf?
I'm saying the qaf does have sukoon. I'm saying when you see it written in your mushaf, they're just not going to write the sukoon on there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Remember, the rule says if I have the letter with sukoon followed by a letter with a vowel. That's the rule. So the first letter is always going to have the sukoon, and the second letter that has the vowel is going to have a vowel. And that's what's going to dictate the rule. Now you have a situation where it is idgham, right? Because those letters are close in their exit point. And so this is where we skip the first letter, blending it into the second by giving the shadda on it. All right, let's see who can beat this. All right, so this is lam into ra. So the lam and the ra have similar exits, and really they have less of similar exits, and they have more of similar characteristics in their movement. The better you get at your tajweed, you're going to realize that, boy, that lam and ra, they exit off of the tongue so similarly, right? They really do. Their movement, the way that they flap into the letter, all of it, they're very similar in that category, right? And so this is why you have this rule. We have this lam with the sukoon followed by the ra with the vowel. Therefore, a shadda has been placed on the ra. Who wants to read that one for me?
I'll try it. Wakurabbi.
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 There you go. Hear your shadda of qurra, shadda.
Wakurabbi.
That was better, right? Wakurabbi. Wakurabbi.
Wakurabbi.
Very good. All right.
So the lamb and
Well, that's all the rules. No more. That's it. So you just have 3 rules. Mutamathin, which is when the 2 letters are exactly the same.
Same letter.
Mutajanis, when the 2 letters are the exact same exit point but different characteristics. Like sad, thou, thaw, and tad, thou, taw. Remember, those are really going to be your combinations, as well as the ba and the meme, right? Meme and ba. But other than that, it's going to be tad, thou, thaw, and sad, thou, law. Sad, thou, thaw, sad, thou, law.
So we just.
All right. You guys have any questions?
No questions.
Questions, thoughts, concerns?
No concerns.
Are you going to put this one up for us to review?
Yes, the notes are actually already up.
Oh, good.
And if you don't see the recording, just remind me. But the recordings actually take a while, and I'm usually getting back out. But they take a little while to process. They don't process immediately. You know, they actually have to buffer and do all kinds of stuff before it's available for me. So, but today I have to try to update your notes. So inshallah, I'll be here when it finishes buffering, and I can get it uploaded for you.
Inshallah.
But the notes are in there. They're slightly different, but the notes are actually up.
Alhamdulillah. That's good. Okay.
All right. Well, that's it. Inshallah, we will